Here we go. I'm back in action. I'm back in action. Tonight is a perfect night with a perfect message. Because you know what? There's so many things in this world that can try to impede your forward progress. So many things. It could be person, place, or things that could try to impede your progress. And as I mentioned many times in my previous sessions, just make sure you're not impeding your own progress. You don't want to do that. So I said to myself, it was Friday yesterday, April 3rd, and it happened to be Good Friday. And that is a holy day, representing the day of the crucifixion. So I had to observe that day. I thought it was right. It's only right to observe that day, as I always give thanks and praise. But I said I didn't want to lose the day. So today is Saturday, and we're going to do our Financial Fitness Friday on Saturday. So we don't miss anything, because I got a wonderful story, wonderful conversation. And this message is for somebody. As always, this message is for somebody. I don't know who it is. You know, sometimes my messages is for me. It could be for me. I don't know who it is, but this message is for somebody, because this is a powerful paradox that we all face at some point in our life. And today we're going to unpack it. We're going to have a conversation. Let me do my checks and balances. I got my multicast going. Got some clicking going over here. Got my libation. It's very important. Let me see. Can we send out the live? Send it out to one of those groups. You know, the group we have. Just for fun. So today is Saturday, April 4th, and we're going to do the Financial Fitness Friday because we observed Good Friday yesterday. I'm back in action. And you know, I never take it for granted, as I always say, that I'm able to sit down and to give a message and to have a conversation, because once again, there's so many things in this world that can impede our forward progress and get in our way and cause us to stumble and sometimes fall, cause us to doubt ourselves, cause us to doubt what we're doing. But you know what? There's going to be no doubt. There's going to be no stopping. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going until the good Lord tell us to stop. So welcome back to Financial Fitness Friday. I am D. Wilder, and I'm happy that you are here to join me today in this wonderful conversation. Because this is more than a podcast, if you will. This is a conversation. This is a space for growth and development. Not only growth and development physically, but growth and development mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Excuse me. It's always funny because we seem to have technical difficulties every time I get ready to roll. Okay. But Not only is it a space for growth and development, it is a space for reflection, a space where we take a deeper look at the journey of becoming our best selves. And once again, people, we are on a journey. I am on a journey. And when we're here together, we're on a journey together. Again, I am D.E. Wilder, and I'm here because I want us all to grow and to elevate. On Financial Fitness Friday, we don't just talk about success. We focus on and talk about becoming. Because success without growth is just temporary. But growth creates success. This is a foundation of success is growth and development. So this is a place where we challenge limiting beliefs and we strengthen our mindset. We're here to develop the discipline necessary to live intentionally. We're here to understand something powerful. What is that? Because failure is not the opposite of success. In fact, failure is a part of success. And comparison unto itself is the enemy of purpose. Each of us is walking a unique path that is designed for ourselves individually. We are facing different hurdles in life, different obstacles, carrying different responsibilities, building different dreams. So here we focus on becoming better, not competing better. We focus on progress, not perfection. We focus on purpose, not pressure. Because the greatest responsibility is not to outdo someone else. It is to become the strongest version of yourself. The strongest version of yourself mentally, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. So wherever you are in your journey right now in life, whether it's starting over, rebuilding, growing quietly, or forging forward and rising boldly, know this: you're not behind. You are not disqualified. Your story is not finished. This is a reminder that you are still becoming. And becoming is the greatest success of all. I am D.E. Wilder, and this is Financial Fitness Friday, and welcome. Welcome to the journey. Today we're talking about success and failure. Your success journey is your own. Give me time to explain. Thank you for joining me. Welcome back, family, friends, and fraternal souls. This is Financial Fitness Friday. This is your brother in growth and your partner in purpose. Take a deep breath with me. And let us just take a moment to get in the right mind space. Not because you're tired, but because you deserve a moment to arrive fully into this space while we're on this journey together. Today, we are talking about something that silently affects almost everyone, whether you know it or not. It's called comparison. Comparison is the quiet thief of joy, happiness, and fulfillment. Excuse me. The invisible pressure that whispers, why aren't you further along in life? Why don't you have all the things that they have? Why does their life look easier, better, more fulfilling? Well, today we're going to reset our thinking. Today we will reclaim something important. Your journey belongs to you and only you. Because my success is not your failure. And your success is not proof that I am lacking in any way. We are not in competition with one another. Truly not. We are in a conversation with our own potential. And when you are truly centered and you truly understand this, then we stop measuring life with someone else's measuring stick. And now we get focused on our own journey through this life together. Let's get started. Let's go to work. So let's start with comparison, the lies of comparison. Comparison is an unfortunate part of human nature. But in today's environment, it has become industrialized. Why? Social media shows highlight reels, but hides the behind the scenes struggles of real life. You know, if you look at social media, you see the people always flossing and doing this and that. You never see anybody going and buying toilet tissue. You never see anyone going and buying toothpaste. I'm assuming these are things you need every day. You never see anybody going and buying milk. You know, you see everybody do it all the great. They're on vacation, but you never see the everyday things that people have to do in their life. And if you didn't know any better, you would think that they didn't have to do all that. You know, they were some type of people that they didn't need to drink any milk or water or brush their teeth or anything else. But it's just not real. You never see the behind the scenes struggle. You see someone buying a house, but you don't see the 12 years of sacrifice. You see someone starting a business, but you don't see the failure that came first. You see someone with confidence and always smiley and happy and all those things, but you don't see the insecurity that they had to overcome to get to this point. So just right there, stop comparing. We always compare our beginnings to someone else's middle, our struggles to someone else's breakthrough, our chapter 2 to someone else chapter 15. And that's simply not a fair comparison, because life itself is not a race. It really is not. It is a development process. Simply put, each day you should be growing and developing, because a tree does not grow faster because another tree is growing faster. A flower does not feel inferior because another flower has bloomed before said flower. No. Why? Because nature itself teaches us all something powerful, that everything blooms in its own season. You, I, we all have our own season. Failure is not falling behind. Actually, failure is, in the definition of failure, should be known as quitting the growth process. The person who decides, I'm not going to try anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to push forward anymore. Because success is not about beating someone else at something. Success is becoming who you are meant to be, becoming something that you want to be. And once you understand this, then jealousy turns into inspiration. Competition turns into admiration. Pressure turns into patience. Because someone else's win does not destroy your own opportunities. It really doesn't work that way. There is no shortage of success and or opportunities. There is only shortages of belief and vision. So let's reflect for a moment. And let's take this moment to think about this and ask ourselves something powerful. Have you ever felt that you were behind in life? Have you ever wondered, am I too late? Did I miss my moment? Well, let me tell you something important. You're not too late. You're being prepared. You're being prepared for your better self. Because timing is not about speed. Timing is about readiness. And readiness cannot be rushed. You know, when something is brewing, something is stirring, something is cooking, you gotta let it cook. So we're gonna redefine failure. Let's get a better understanding, because most of us misunderstand failure altogether. We treat it like it's a verdict. But failure is actually feedback. Failure is information. It's actually crucial information. Failure is education disguised as disappointment. Most people think successful people became successful people by avoiding failure. And no, that's just not true. Not at all. Actually, that's the furthest from the truth. Successful people develop a strong relationship, whether you know or not, with failure. I always say, if you want to go far, you want to go where you want to go, make failure your friend. Because no one out the gate just have success. I haven't seen that yet. So those successful people, at some point, they stop asking, why did this happen to me? And they start asking, what is this situation teaching me? Because failure is data. It has a plethora of information. And it teaches us patience, humility, strategy, resilience, self-awareness. And sometimes failure teaches us something even more important. It can teach us redirection, learning how to be agile and how to pivot. Sometimes what didn't work initially saved us from what wouldn't have worked at all. Sometimes what ended made space for what actually belonged. Sometimes rejection is protection. Sometimes delay is development. Sometimes loss is preparation. Failure is not the opposite of success. In fact, failure is a part of success. Let me say that again. Failure is a crucial part of success, because you cannot build strength without resistance. You cannot build wisdom without mistakes. You cannot build confidence without challenges. You cannot build character without adversity. So maybe we need to at this point a new definition, a new vision, a new outlook. Failure itself is not losing. Failure in the mindset is refusing to grow. Failure is refusing to learn. Failure is refusing to try again. And as long as you are learning, you are not failing. As long as you're growing, you're not behind. As long as you're trying, you're still winning, whether you know it or not. Let's take another reflection moment. Let me quench my thirst. Let's take this reflection moment and think about this question. What if everything you thought was a failure was actually preparation? What if it wasn't punishing you, but it was actually designed to build you? What if setbacks were actually the foundation that you needed to catapult you? Because strong buildings, as we know, requires deep foundations, and deep foundations require deep digging. So let's change the mindset about failure. And let's now focus on your personal definition of success. One of the biggest traps in life is accepting someone else's or institution or society's definition of success. That is that. I tell you, if you want to fail, that will be the first thing you will do, is start to allow society to define for you what is success and what is failure. Some people think success is wealth and money. Some people think it's status. Some people think it's having a certain title or some level of recognition. But success, well, let's put it this way. What if success was much simpler than that? Maybe perhaps we're overcomplicating it. What if success is having a peace of mind? Maybe, what if success is having self-respect, having freedom from fear, having the ability to sleep well, having the ability to look yourself in the mirror with pride, the ability to live without pretending? What if success is becoming emotionally healthy? What if success is breaking toxic cycles? What if success is healing from past traumas? What if success is choosing growth over comfort? Some of the most successful people have no audience, no spotlight, no applause, but they have peace and peace of mind. And peace is a very powerful form of wealth. So success might mean providing for your family. If you can do that, that's successful. Becoming a better parent than you had for yourself. If you could do that, that's successful. Choosing discipline over excuses. Walking away from what harmed you. Being strong enough and having the courage to start over or to try again or believe again. Success is not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes success sounds like, I didn't quit. Sometimes success sounds like, I'm still here. Sometimes success sounds like, I'm better now than I used to be. And that alone is real success. You see where I'm going with this? You have to redefine what is success and failure for yourself. So today, I want you to release something heavy in your life, whatever it may be. Everybody is carrying something. Trust me. Release comparison. Release timelines. Release that pressure that you put on yourself. Release the belief that you're behind and you're not where you're supposed to be. Because life is not a group project. It's not. Life is a personal assignment. And the only requirement of your personal assignment in life is one simple thing, and that is progress. Not perfection, not speed, not approval, just progress. Small progress, little progress, an inch of progress is still progress. Slow growth is still growth. Quiet improvement is still improvement. And your path does not need validation from anybody else. You don't need anybody's stamp of approval. So remember, your life is not a competition. It's not a competition at all. In fact, your life is a calling. Your path and your path forward is not a race. It is actually a revelation. Your journey is not late. It is unfolding. And what belongs to you cannot be taken by someone else's success. That means their success is theirs and yours will be yours. Because purpose is not distributed by popularity. Destiny is not assigned by comparison. And greatness is not measured by timing. It's measured by becoming who you were meant to be. Becoming who you were designed to be. So walk your path at your pace, with your lessons, with your growth, with your story, with your past, because someone else's light does not and cannot dim your light. What was meant for you was meant for you. Simple as that. Oh, that was part one. I have a second part. Let's go to this because this is now the next level of what we call success and failure. This is from failure to breakthrough, turning setbacks into setups. In this part two of our conversation on success and failure, in part one, we talked about something powerful, someone else's success. And what does that mean? And are you failing? And the progress that doesn't threaten your own journey in life. But today we go a little deeper in the conversation because understanding failure intellectually is different from surviving failure emotionally. Because failure doesn't just challenge our plans in life. Sometimes it challenges our very identity. Sometimes it makes us question things, makes us question ourselves. Say something like, am I good enough? Am I capable? Am I deserving? Am I strong enough to try again? And if we are being honest with ourselves, failure can hurt. It can humble us. It can slow us down. But what if I told you something that is important and true in equal parts? Failure is not the end of your story. Sometimes failure is where your real story and your life begins. Let's go to work. What happens when failure attacks your confidence? Failure rarely just affects the current situation. It affects how you see yourself. After disappointment, we begin to start speaking differently to ourselves internally. We say things like, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I should stop trying. Maybe this is just not for me. But here is the danger in that self-talk. Failure is not an event. It's not an identity. Let me say that again. Failure is not an event, nor is it an identity. Failure is something that happens, and it is not something that you become. It didn't become failure. You experienced failure. And those are two very different things that we have to put into perspective. Strong people are not people who never fail. That's impossible. Strong people are those who refuse to let failure define them. Because failure does not define a person permanently. Think about that. What if failure defined us permanently? There would be no inventors. No inventors would exist. No entrepreneur would exist. No leader would exist. No dreamer would exist. Every successful person you admire has a private history of setbacks and failures. A history most people will never know and will never see. What we see is what's on the other side. We see someone who was persistent. We see someone who carried on. We see the victory. What we don't see is the persistence that it took to get to the victory. Confidence is not about building just through winning. It's not. Confidence is built through surviving loss, surviving setback, surviving things that you were trying to do going left, going off path. Because every time you keep going, every time you get back up, you teach yourself something very powerful. It's a lesson that you internally learn. That lesson is I can endure. I can carry on. I can prevail. Each time it happens, and you keep going, you learn and you compound those lessons that makes you stronger. Reflection moment. Ask yourself honestly, what failure are you still allowing to define you? Don't have to answer that now, but think about it. Was it a missed opportunity? Was it something that you were supposed to do, but you didn't do? Was it a financial mistake? A relationship that didn't work out? A risk that didn't pay off? Now ask yourself something even better. What did that experience teach you? What did you learn from that experience? In something that you would deem as a failure, what did you learn that success could not have taught you? Because success teaches comfort when things are going right. But the lessons that failure teaches us is strength and resiliency. That's the hidden gift within failure. Failure brings gifts. It does. Not comfortable gifts, not pretty gifts, but powerful gifts. Failure gives something to you and us all. Failure can give us clarity. It can give us discipline, self-awareness, boundaries, very important, patience, emotional strength. Oh, sometimes failure shows you things that you might not really want to see, things that you're not prepared to see. Sometimes failure shows you who's really in your corner, who disappears when things get hard, who only supports you when you're at the top of your game. Failure reveals character, not only character within yourself, but characters within others. Failure also teaches us something extremely important: the importance of having the ability to adjust. Sometimes failure is life saying and providing a message to you. And say something like, try again. Be wiser this time. Try again. Be stronger this time. Try again. Be different this time. Because persistent is not just about repeating effort. Persistent is about improving effort and learning from past experiences. Failure asks us questions like, what can I do differently this time? What did I overlook last time? What did I assume in that situation? What skills did I need to build that I didn't have? Growth happens when ego stops defending your actions. And now you allow yourself to start learning. Because ego will say something like, I shouldn't have failed. Growth will say, I can learn from that failure. Stay with me, people. And the moment you shift from the type of thinking of embarrassment to education, failure loses its power over you altogether. Reflection moment. Let's keep going. Consider this thought. What if the biggest setback was actually your biggest teacher? What if the things you wish never had happened is what made you who you are today? Because pressure creates diamonds. Resistance builds muscles. Adversity develops depth. And depth is what makes us extraordinary humans. Let's keep going, people. Because now, if you have that understanding, you're going to adopt the courage to keep going and try again. Because the real victory is not success unto itself. The real victory is having the courage to keep going to be successful. Because trying again requires courage. Believing again requires courage. Trusting again requires courage. Dreaming again requires courage. Many people don't fall because they lack talent or abilities. They stop because they lose courage. But courage is not fearlessness. Courage is movement despite fear. Let's dig deep. Courage is saying, I was hurt, but I'm not finished. I was disappointed, but I'm not done. I failed, but I'm going to get back up and try again. Sometimes success isn't achieving something new. Sometimes success is simply refusing to quit on yourself. Trying again looks like starting over financially, rebuilding your confidence, learning a new skills, changing your environment, very important, taking one step, not 10, not 20, one step in a new direction, one step in trying to do something again and building your courage. Because forward is forward, no matter how small the step may be. And sometimes your greatest success will be a very simple statement: I refuse to give up. I refuse to give in. I refuse to let go. So maybe today, maybe today is not about winning. Maybe today is about something a little more powerful than that. It's about deciding. Deciding, am I going to keep going? Am I still in the game? Maybe today is about deciding my story is not finished. Maybe today is about making a decision. I deserve another chance for myself, another chance for my family, another chance for my future. Because the greatest comeback story will never, ever see well, let's put it this way. The greatest comeback story you'll never, ever see in this lifetime will be the one when someone decides not to try again. Keep trying, people. Keep going. Please understand this. Failure did not come to destroy you. We always think that things that don't go our way and things that is not happening right, that we become victimized by it. But failure did not come to destroy you. It came to develop you. It came to introduce you to yourself, to a stronger version of yourself, a version of yourself that you have yet to meet, a more patient you, a wiser you, a tougher you, a more focused you. And sometimes failure removes what is comfort and the things that you allowed yourself to tolerate. Because growth and development often requires discomfort, and transformation requires pressure. So if you are in a difficult season right now, and I know many people are, and I'll never take that for granted, do not mistake the construction for destruction. Do not mistake delay for denial. Do not mistake setbacks for the ending. Because you are not starting over. You are starting wiser. You're starting stronger. You're starting with experience and knowledge. And experience unto itself is power. This is a reminder. You are not your worst mistake. You're not your hardest moment. You're not your lowest season. You are resilience. You are courage. You are the ability to rise again. And sometimes rising again, trying again, is the greatest success of all. I hope this message means something to somebody and made a difference to somebody. And if it has, share it with someone who is quietly rebuilding their confidence and remind them that failure is not final. Growth is always available, and strength often comes in disguise as struggle. I am D. Wilder, and I want to remind you that you can try again. This is Financial Fitness Friday with D. Wilder, and I'm happy that you were able to join me with this session today. If this session means something to you, please share it with someone who needed to hear this. And I would wish that for each and every one of you to stay strong, stay blessed, and keep living your life with kindness, clarity, and purpose. I am D. Wilder. This is Financial Fitness Friday, focusing on financial fitness for the future. I bid you peace and blessings. As always, thank you for sharing this journey with me. Always keep moving forward, keep growing, keep developing, keep going.